Hello, Miss V
Hello, hello.
at
How are you?
veronicadrake.com. I'm doing fine. Today, along with Erik, of course, we are going to explore the subject of past lives. And we can talk about future lives if necessary.
Right, the Twilight Zone.
The whole thing about reincarnation and past lives was in the Old Testament, I think. And then in the Council of Trent or the Council of Nicaea, stripped that away because, yeah, we don't want people to think they have another chance.
Yeah,
Go ahead and just sin, and well, next life I'll be better. I don't
I
know what
have a
to do about.
theory on sin, if I may.
Yeah,
The,
go ahead.
the, the original sin, right? The Garden of Eden. The
Yeah,
snake gave the apple, and the
yeah.
woman was the bitch, and we got the period and the sinners. And I don't believe any of that. I believe that the serpent, which has gotten a bad rap all along, was really the keeper of the knowledge. And he let the knowledge of being separate happen to us so that we could learn our lessons, evolve our souls, and get on with being human, which was why we came here in the first place.
That's
So,
interesting because a lot of people think that there were two groups of Anunnaki, those that followed Enki, who is also reincarnated as Quetzalcoatl, or whatever you
yeah.
pronounce it, and then he loved humans, but there was his, I don't know, maybe a brother, I don't know, Enlil and his tribe who hated humans and wanted to use them as slaves. So
Mhm.
Enlil, there's some reptilian aspects about them, I guess. So, you know, so that they thought, well, snake, but he did want to teach humans how to live, and give
Yeah.
impart knowledge, and the illusion of separation, I guess, was one of them. That's pretty
And
cool.
that's the illusion. And let me give you something else to think about. With the serpent, the caduceus, the medical
Yeah,
symbol,
yeah.
it's the intertwining of the snakes, but guess what? It opens up into wings.
Oh, yeah,
It's
that's
the
right.
healing principle. When Moses led into the desert, he had a staff with a serpent head on the top.
Yeah.
In Hinduism, in the East, the Kundalini is the serpent rising up.
Wow, that's interesting.
So, different perspective, just something to think about.
Yeah, Gaia, that network has all sorts of information about really the Garden of Eden. There's one program about that, and it's just incredible. Okay, well, we'll talk about past lives. Hi, Erik. How are you? I love you.
He says, "Hi, Mama." And it's funny because he's got something on. I don't know what it is. It's very strong smelling. And I felt like I was just going to sneeze in your face. I
No,
don't
you can't do
know
that. This is
what
virtual.
it is. Usually when he comes in, I always joke with him that his feet smell like Fritos. But it's not the foot thing today. I don't know
Oh,
what it is. It's very overwhelming, but
wow,
here,
Erik, what in the world?
it's dousing it on.
Oh, geez. Okay. Hi, Erik. All right. So, what do you have to say? Y'all take the floor
Hi, Mama.
right here.
I've been laying low for a while, probably the last 6 to 8 months, because I've been immersing myself in the teachings, working with Erik, of course, and listening to him direct me, and then listening to others out there in the spirit world. And I'm going to make a disclaimer right here. I was always the person that was skeptical on doing past life readings. And I'll
Okay.
tell you why. And Erik helped me understand this new thought process. I I thought that people would get hung up and place blame and stay stuck if they could say, "Oh, my past life," and that becomes an excuse system. That was
Oh, that's a
my
good point.
erroneous, right? My erroneous
Right.
thinking.
Right.
So, Erik said, "We're going to sit down and you're going to meet these different people, including Jung and all of these amazing people that I journeyed with, and you're going
Yeah.
to hear a different perspective." And the different perspective is this: everything can be either right, wrong, good, bad. It's a matter of perception and perspective and what you do with it. So past lives, I've started testing out doing past life readings
Mhm.
because I find that they help heal. If they are given with guidance and direction on how best to navigate the past life energy with the current modern day energy. So in other words, people have had past life regressions forever. A regression and a reading are different.
Oh yeah.
I don't regress. I just, as a psychic, I go in, I can see like a movie. I mean, super duper quick.
Oh
Okay.
wow.
And so when I see that, I don't just go, oh, Elisa, here you were the Queen of Sheba, and, and this is what you did. And I tell you about that. We play it out. And then I say to you, okay, here's traits, characteristics, problematic areas, challenges that are attributed to that. And here's how we move beyond them.
Oh, that's so perfect.
It's
You know,
like,
that's interesting because at one of the channeling Erik events here at my house, there was one lady who had suffered from back pain for so long, and she found out that what happened in another life, and boosh, her pain just went away.
and sometimes it's just as simple as wanting to be noticed, right? I did a reading for a client, a past life reading, and I got the name Devereaux, and I think it was Francis Devereaux. And I was like, okay, I don't know. You were in Louisiana, New Orleans area, blah, blah, blah. So we go through this whole reading. I can see her. She was a matriarch of a family, and her husband was this famous politician. Like, I'm going this whole story, right?
Wow.
So I do this reading. I get a text message a couple hours later from her saying, I Googled it, everything you said. And she sent me the art, like it was all in writing, 1800s. And I mean, it was like, I'm like, oh my God, I blew my own mind.
That is so cool. Well, hey, you're all that in a bag of chips, girl.
Well, I'm just the conduit, but it's really cool.
So if somebody wants to get a past life reading from you, is there a specific spot on your site that they go to?
Well, here's the thing. I told you before we started, I'm getting a new hip for Christmas. So it's okay because I'm
two front teeth and stab.
Exactly. So I have, for a very limited time, just the month of November.
Yeah.
There, if you go to my site and you click intuitive guidance, underneath it, there's a button for past life, but I can only take the first 25, 35 people.
Yeah.
And then until spring of 2022, I'm shutting it down so I can heal and do all of that. So really, if you want a reading for past life, get in there now because they're like hotcakes.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay, good. All right. So do you ever stumble upon like a future life for people?
It's interesting because I'm also teaching shamanism, and in shamanism, shamans believe that we can talk to anything and it has guidance. I have met future lives. Oh. I have seen like my grandchildren's children's children. Oh, wow. And I've had conversations with them. You can actually travel to future lives. And I just started doing this with my readings because cool. It's fascinating.
Do you go to an intensely deep trance or something, Veronica?
You know what? It's really funny because I've never felt like I've fit in, like I've been the norm. Like, you get all these people with these rituals and they have these great things. And but I understand now through studying shamanism, I'm remembering. I'm not learning this. I'm remembering it. And I don't mean to sound arrogant. I don't take anything away from anybody, but I don't need that ritualistic, go deep in. It's like having conversation like this with me, and people that have had readings with me, It's very fluid. I'm very fluid with the reading, almost like if you were Queen of Sheba and we would be sitting here talking like Queen of Sheba. And
yeah, we should do a demo one day.
Can I show you something? Yeah. I did my drum. Did I show you my drum once before? But
yeah. Oh, that's cool. So, yes.
I want to do this with you if you're okay.
Sure.
All right. The rhythm, the percussion takes you to theta state, which is the unconscious state, which is where we go when we meditate, when we, right? Most people go, I can't get there. My mind won't let me. I'm busy. This takes you right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lead you into your own past life. Now, We're not going to stay there because we don't have time, but I want to give you an example of one way I do it.
Okay.
All right. Take a breath, breathe it out. And I just want you to flow with the beat. Just be with the beat. There's no pressure. It's just you and I and a couple billion people watching.
Yeah. So soothing.
Yeah. When you're ready, in your mind's eye, I want you to get up and walk out your front door, but there's a mist. You go through the mist, and when you walk out the front door, I want you to notice right away, is there a sign giving you a direction? Are you going north? Are you going south? Going east? Are you going west? Notice your direction. Proceed, and you walk through more mist, and you're walking directly in to an aspect, a past life of yours. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you hear? What are you walking on? What's the atmosphere? Pay attention to the details.
Okay.
Do you hear your name? Do you hear your breath?
Do you want me to say what I'm experiencing?
We're going to talk about it after. Just really immerse yourself in what you see, what you feel. Let your shoulders drop. Listen to the rhythm. We're going to do this about 30 more seconds, and then we're going to turn around and come back. Okay, we're going to shift in your brain. Turn around and walk your way back. Come through the mist. Walk through the mist of your front door. And we're back.
Wow.
So
That's
tell us what
amazing.
happened when you came
Oh,
out.
I went west
You went
immediately.
west.
There was a red arrow, so I followed it.
Okay.
And then I looked down and my feet were bare, and it was like dirt, sort of dirt ground. And then I saw a Native American man, and he
Mhm.
called me Shana.
Ah, Shana.
And I was a young female Native American.
And what could you see what you were doing? Did it, I mean,
I was
that
just
was
standing
very,
around looking around at little kids playing, and structures that were the homes.
Mhm.
But no specific event.
And we did it very quickly. I mean, obviously,
Yeah.
if you're doing a reading, but you went really quick. Now, I want to show you how I incorporate why I asked you to use the direction, okay?
Okay.
Because this is relevant to the readings that I do. You went to the West, and so what that tells me, incorporated with the understanding of that life into this life, you and I would continue our work on putting to rest intrusive energies, old intrusive energies that need to be released. We would delve deeply into the hidden areas of your life, your traumas, your generational heritage. We would look really deeply into these areas, into your subconscious. The West is indicative of needing or wanting or being ready to let go of these imprints that are holding you back. It's incredible. I
Well, what
mean,
about north? What would north or east or south
so
be?
so if you think about the wind, right? And every time we think about the wind, I was when I was a little girl, my grandmother used to read to me this book called The North Wind. I went high and low researching for a copy of this old book. And I've always been drawn to the wind. The
Mhm.
north wind is indicative of we're facing hard challenges in our life. You
Oh,
know, we're stepping into an area when it's going to be tough, but
that makes
we're going to
sense.
step up and we're going to do it. And, you know, the north is all about the cold, the dead of winter. We use these phrases, right? And
Yeah.
that's because we need to replenish and regroup, you know, what we're all about.
Yeah.
The north also helps us shed our patterns and our energies so that when the spring comes in our life, we can have fresh soil to plant our, you know, and these are all analogies for living our life. And,
Right.
you know, not to go too far into it, but this is a whole compilation of the medicine wheel where it works with past lives.
Yeah.
So it just is a natural fit for that. With these directions are also animals that would accompany you. The east is all about the sun. We know everywhere in the world, the east rises, the sun rises in the east. The east is about looking at um, our infant self. What's the new beginning? What are we looking to start over with? What seeds have we planted?
Mm.
That kind of thing. So
Cool.
I believe past lives are very therapeutic. And the other thing that blows a lot of people's minds is we are simultaneously living every single life we've ever lived,
That's right.
right? I mean,
That's exactly right. That's
but
exactly right.
people want to they want to think about it with their human brain, and you can't rationalize this.
No, I mean, linear time is a human construct
Yeah.
because we need it in order to, have experiences, to have consequences to actions, causes and effects and all that. But speaking of wheels, the Erik uses the wagon wheel analogy where our soul is in the hub of the wagon wheel and all our lives, past, present, future, are the spokes, but it's rolling in the mud, leaving a linear track, which is actually the timeline. But all those spokes are right there at once.
Absolutely. And imagine, you know, when we come into human form, it would be maddening if we had every recollection or if we were inundated
Oh
with
God.
recollections, right?
No.
But if we're lucky during this lifetime, we get deja vu, right? We
Yes.
I feel like I've known you forever.
No.
When I first got introduced to shamanism, I said to my teacher, I feel like I'm remembering. It's not like I'm learning, I'm remembering,
So
right?
what is that? Is that deja vu? And then maybe we'll talk about jamais vu also. But
Uh,
is that bleed through from another life usually?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Because things that are familiar to us, we don't lose who we are. Like we just cross over and we go home, you
Yeah.
know? We're not lost, right? When people, I just was telling you, my mother of 46 years passed away, and I
Mhm.
don't use the terminology that we lost my mother. She just went home,
Yeah.
and that's a very graceful, calming, soothing way to understand
Yeah.
it. It's
Yeah.
still hard because we're human,
Yeah.
but you've been living with this for a very long time now. Erik isn't lost, Erik's home.
Right.
And Erik is more present than ever, right? And doing
True.
the work that he couldn't do if he carried a shell.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true.
So, aspects that Erik was in other lives are now with him fully.
Yeah.
And that's where we grow our knowledge base from. When we return and we go back to source, which I believe Erik has, we get all of that knowledge and we can handle it.
So, why is it that some mediums say, well, I can't get in touch with that your deceased loved one because they must have reincarnated? But all the lives are happening at once? Is that
Yeah.
just in their mind?
Let me just, I will say this, as a medium, I have total and utmost respect for the integrous mediums out there, and it's not an easy job to do this.
No.
And one of the things that I honor is everybody's ability, because what one person perceives to be a truth and is their level
Their
of
truth.
access, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing is, I've learned over all of these years, if I can't access somebody's loved one, I own that. I say it's not, because here's the thing, the spirit world isn't there someday and not there another day.
Oh,
It's
yeah, of course not.
they are consistent.
Yes.
We are not,
Yeah.
right? So I got to own, if I'm not getting Grandpa Joe in a way that's evidential to you, that you can believe and sink your teeth into the evidence, I own it.
Yeah.
I don't, because even if Grandpa Joe was reincarnated, that has nothing to do with him being accessed by a medium.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So you're so diplomatic. So what are some of the reasons a medium would not be able to access? We're getting off topic, I guess, but just
No, but I think this is good because first things first, get your own house in order.
mm,
You're not working diligently on your shadows, on your shadow work, and that's the last year. You know me well enough. You and I are a lot alike. Oh, I'm not good enough. I can't do this. What am I gonna? Oh, my feelings are hurt. I've been
yeah.
working on all of that, and so I
We're
believe
human.
you're a better person and medium.
Yeah.
Everybody brings something to the table, whether you're carrying baggage from another life or you're in a bad relationship and you're trying to go be a medium. It's the stations are foggy.
Yeah. Of course.
Somebody said something to me yesterday. I had a reading and somebody said to them, well, somebody asked them, can you tell me when my last exit point is, to this other medium?
Oh,
And
yeah.
this person brought it to me. And I said to her, I never see last exit points. I don't
Yeah.
want to. What am I going to do with that? Oh, by the way, pack your bags. No, I don't want, I don't want to see
Well, it
that.
looks like next Tuesday at 2:45.
Better cancel that doctor's appointment. So this person was told, she'd lived well into her 70s. And she said to me, she was 59 or 60 or something. And I said, I can't dispute that because I don't know, but I can tell you that you could be part of someone else's contract. And as a result, you agreed to exit based on when they needed you to exit, which then alters your exit point. So there's so much going into, it's not a cut and dried.
No, it never is.
It's not a science.
No, absolutely not. All right.
Good
What about
digression.
jamais vu? Jamais vu. What is that?
I don't know what that is.
Maybe it's just mini stroke or whatever, where you feel like you've never been in some place where you have been.
Well, I can ask
Never,
about
never
it.
been.
I don't know about it, but we can.
What is
What's it
that,
called?
Erik? Is it
Jamais?
jamais vu, never seen, instead of already seen, déjà vu?
Oh, so let me just ask Erik because I don't know. He says that that is when you have more aspects of yourself that aren't evolved, that haven't spent a lot of time in learning like this,
Mhm.
and there's not a lot of familiarity there.
Okay.
It really has nothing to do. He says, think of it as a beginner, like a beginning stage.
Okay. Okay.
Where deja vu, you've had a lot of experiences.
Yeah.
You've walked the path time and time and time and time again. And with this, you've not. This could be pregnancies that were terminated early.
Cool.
It could be that a lot of it, he's showing me a lot of little souls. So this
Okay.
had to do with kids.
Little short lives.
Yeah, little short lives. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So, what else can we glean from having knowledge of our past or other lives?
Mhm.
Past. I mean, past.
Um, I have done, and I did one yesterday. I have done some really thorough psychic health cleansing and evaluations.
Tell me more
So,
about that. Yeah.
an example of that is someone has physical pain in their body,
Right.
but medical can't find any reason for it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I go in, I look at the past life and the chest pains that keep you up and the palpitations and you were pierced in the heart with an arrow, blah, blah, blah. And I go through the whole scenario. And I thought, okay, well, I just told you this beautiful story. What's it going to do for you? Because I just relay the story.
Yeah.
A couple days later, I get a message and she says, I don't have that issue anymore.
Oh, wow.
She had EKG, she had everything you can do with the heart. And they're like, no, you don't have heart stuff. How can we tell you you don't have heart stuff? And it really was, what I can't prove this, but I believe in the unconscious mind, which is where all of our lives live.
Right.
She needed to lay to rest that life
Oh,
where
yeah.
shot, and it needed her attention for something that she then worked through, and then that discomfort went away.
Is it more common to have something like that when you have a very sudden and or tragic death, violent death, sudden and or violent?
It's more common, I've heard, but it also has to do with not reconciling, not tying up loose ends with certain things. So, in other words, and I'm exaggerating this, if you were in a huge argument with your spouse, maybe that's not an exaggeration, but no, if you were in a huge argument with your spouse and you keeled over, right? Because for whatever
Yeah.
reason,
Heart attack or whatever. Yeah.
and that argument didn't get resolved, and you left with that, and so that would, I'm going to use a word and I don't mean it in a scary way, that would haunt you.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
It would bleed over to your next life.
Absolutely. Because there's no finality. You left undoneness in the world.
All right, Eric, what are some other um exits, transitions that would very commonly rear its ugly head in another life, the next one, or well, of course, they're all happening at once, but
Well, he's saying suicide.
yeah.
If there isn't or hasn't been a review process where there is acknowledgement and there's learning and there's growth. Okay.
Okay.
That's very, very prominent. Car accidents, anything that would be a sudden, here you go. Right.
Okay, yeah, right.
Also, he says that when it comes to evil on earth,
Yeah.
and we call that like the Mansons or the
Yeah.
serial
Ted
killer,
Bundy, yeah.
right? A lot of times with those souls, they will, again, we're going to use a word, but it's haunted. They will be haunted. I'm reluctant to use some words because I don't want to scare people and think,
No,
oh, you're going to have demons, but
no, we get it. We get it.
haunted by the unconscious memories and
Right.
perceptions. And so let's just play with Manson for a minute. I interviewed Manson. He processed, he reviewed, he repented, whatever. I
Right.
remember. Say he hadn't, right? And he comes back into this life. Again, he reincarnates, if he reincarnates. And, he may have impulses.
Oh, yeah.
He may be an anxiety-ridden schizophrenic. Like it could just
Yeah.
play out in so many ways.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
That's why I think the work that we do, and I say we, as in the spiritual community,
Yeah.
we are helping people wake up to non-traditional ways of thinking because, traditional isn't working anymore.
No, it hasn't for a long time.
It's
What
not.
about future lives, Eric? Can you talk about future lives?
Um,
And if there's any healing in knowing that, or any value to uncovering future lives, or could it be not very good? I mean,
no,
the ins and outs of becoming aware of future lives.
He says future lives are a very good preventive medicine, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
And he says, always remember that you cannot use this work for self gain in a selfish way. Like, in other words, I want to see myself seeing the winning lottery numbers.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's deeper than that, he says.
Right.
So when you look at, he's given the example of, let's say your family of origin, your DNA has been plagued by a disease that's gone on generation after generation after generation.
Yeah.
He says, if you want to see how to navigate it, cure it, bypass it, you could then go visit future generations. So your children's children's children.
Right.
And you go there, and it's just like listening and taking notes, if you will. It's almost like he says you're taking a college class, you're getting lectures. These are places you can go to lectures.
Okay, so you can like get your ancestral DNA cut for certain things that seem to run in the family, and then you can like travel into the next life or whatever and see
Mhm.
if it's truly cut, if there's still right, things like that.
Yes, that's one aspect of it. But you can also see, let's say that it's not meant to be missed by you. Let's say it's in your contract, so to speak, that you must get this genetic disease.
Right.
How can you best manage it? Because guess what? We don't know what we don't know in 50 years from now. True. Until we connect with something that does know that. There's wisdom in everything. I've learned, I just sent away, I had to spit in a tube, ancestry.com.
Oh yeah, right. Oh my God. It's so hard to fill up that tube because it always happens when my mouth is super dry.
I know, right? Yeah. I just sent that in, and I did it because I want to be able to talk to the ancestors, the elders, and the families of my DNA.
Oh yeah.
What a better way to fine tune who I'm talking to, right? So I chose to do that. I'm also doing my tree, my ancestry tree, because now here's a great thing. And I don't get any kickback from ancestry.com, but if you have the time to do this, I met my great grandmother. Oh, wow. I got a name. I got to understand. I talked to her. Oh, I have chills.
Cool. That is so cool.
I know her name. I even share a lot of characteristics with her. It's like, it just blows my mind.
That physical and personality traits?
Yeah. I mean, well, I get that because of the psychic connection. I don't know.
Right.
Gives you that. But when I intuit and I do a psychic reading, say for instance, you came to me and 3 generations ago who your great grandmother was, right? But that's it. That's all you know.
Right.
You could give me her name and I would be able to tell you this. That's kind of what I do in mediumship. But for me, I couldn't do it for myself. Like I couldn't get the name and I couldn't go deep into the generations. So I was guided to ancestry, and now I can address her by name and there's a formal relationship with us, if that makes sense.
That's awesome. All right, Erik, can knowledge of past and future lives or future lives help us figure out whether we're balancing the karma in relationships, if that's going to be carried on, if we're on track with honoring our contracts with people, and just basically karma balancing?
His answer is this: 1,000,000%. Yes. Yeah. 1,000,000%. He says
useful tool. I'm this so-and-so, my relationship with my husband, is our karma balancing? It's going in the right direction, things like that.
He says it's not always an exact, because here's the thing. We could get the answers, we could see that, but we're human.
Yeah.
So the key to all of this work, and this is why I wake up every single day, and I feel emotional about this. I want to help people transform from the inside out, so that when we have these resources that Erik is so lovingly bringing forward, we can put the work, the practical application of it to life inside of us.
Right.
Right? Because if he says to you, you go look at your karma and this is what you're doing, you're going to go about your day. You're going to go to work. Your bills are going to pile up. Your kids are going to drive you nuts and you're going to forget all about that.
Yeah.
Right. But if you have somebody helping you and teaching you how to go inside with tools and techniques that are going to keep you on track to balance that karma, there it is.
Yeah, this goes way beyond the current conventional healing. I mean, this is just, we're on the bleeding edge, girl. It's pretty cool. And it's happening.
Shamanism is 100,000 years old, right? It was prophesized by the shamans.
Yeah.
This world right here is ending. Not like, oh, we're going to blow up.
No. Yeah.
We're shedding aspects of ourselves because we are willing to walk into the dark. And that means inside each one of us is shadow.
Yeah. Doing the shadow work.
Doing the shadow work. And then as a collective, if we come out, those of us that are doing this work really deep and intently, I just signed up for a 12-month apprenticeship so that I could go really deep into this. Those of us that are here to lead that charge, we then have to know that we've walked the talk, we've done this, and then we shine the light and we help. This is called community change.
Yeah.
That's how it is. We build communities. Yeah.
That's awesome. Erik, before we sign off, because I know people don't have a very long attention span, is there anything else you want to share about what we've talked about past lives, reincarnation, anything?
He says that people shouldn't get too hyper focused on whether someone's reincarnated or not, because that's a human thing. Yeah. Even if they aren't reincarnated, or even if they are reincarnated, people like myself and the women that you bring forward here can help their loved ones get in touch with them. Don't feel that reincarnation is something that you have to aspire to. You don't have to. And he also wants me to tell you, and you know this, but he's so proud of you.
Oh, I'm proud of him too. I'm proud of you, Erik, so much.
He says he watched you grow. He's watched you grow and it warms him.
Oh, I love you. And I've watched you grow too. All right, y'all get in touch with Veronica, obviously, and send her prayers and healing energy for what's to come and what has happened recently, please. Anyway, veronicadrake.com. I love you, Miss V. And also you guys check out atlantascalar.com as well as the YouTube Atlanta Scalar and channelingerik.com and the Channeling Erik YouTube. And please share, subscribe, hit the like button and the notification bell. All right. Bye, everyone. I love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.